war on trade.
The consumer at the end bears the brunt of any increase in pricing.
Our DC Bureau is live with more on the rising tariffs. Worries on student loans.
The largest data breach in American history.
After the latest move from the Department of Government Efficiency, making their voices heard.
Unido, jamás será vencido!
A protest on the immigration crackdown in South Florida. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Nicolette Esper.
I'm Jason Hurrow. Today is Monday, February 17th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
The United States is trading punches this morning over some of its import and export policies. President Trump announced a significant raise in the steel and aluminum tariffs to a flat 25%, a move that would likely raise prices for Floridians, particularly in industries like housing and construction.
But as the ongoing trade war escalates, experts warn these tariffs could disrupt supply chains, reduce trade benefits, and give foreign competitors an edge. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Carla Mendez is live with the story. Good morning, Carla.
Good morning, Nicolette and Jason. The White House says the tariffs will revitalize U.S. production, but Florida's heavy reliance on imported steel and aluminum for construction, infrastructure, and manufacturing has experts concerned about rising costs. With high demand, low supply, and already expensive materials, Florida's strained housing market could see house prices climb even higher.
Folks who are going to feel the effect of it are new homes coming on the market in a few months. The consumer at the end bears the brunt of any increase in pricing. It's always passed down, and the last person on that chain, that supply chain, is the consumer.
Beyond price hikes, industry experts add that these tariffs won't lead to immediate increases in domestic production.
There's not a steel factory that's just waiting online to come up because we're going to need more. There's more demand. Somebody has to have the capital, the land, and everything else that it takes to invest in bringing up a steel factory. So yes, it's going to encourage American growth, but not immediately.
And it's not just housing. Economists warn that the impact could ripple through the broader U.S. economy.
It might make housing a little less affordable. I mean, especially multi-unit housing that uses a lot of steel. But the overall impact of the tariffs probably going to be broader than that because it'll have a negative impact on the U.S. economy. And a reduction in foreign trade hurts both trading partners.
Meanwhile, these tariffs are escalating tensions with key U.S. trade partners, particularly Canada, which supplies about 23% of U.S. steel imports and 50% of aluminum. As some countries rush to negotiate exemptions, others like the EU, China, Brazil have already vowed retaliation. With the tariffs set to take effect in March, the full impact on Florida's economy remains uncertain. Reporting live from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Carla Mendez.
President Trump is on the record this morning after indicating a willingness to meet with Vladimir Putin. The president spoke to reporters when he arrived in West Palm Beach after attending the Daytona 500. Mr. Trump was asked about a meeting with the Russian leader. He did not give a specific time for the meeting, but said it would be rather sooner than later.
It should have been done 4 years ago, 3 years ago before it started, but it should have been done immediately after it started.
On the campaign trail, the president repeatedly said he could quickly negotiate an end to the war in Ukraine.
President Trump says he is aiming to, in his words, level the playing field on trade with his latest tariff proposal.
The president announced a plan that could reshape America's trade relationships across the globe. Caplin News DC Bureau reporter Rafael Hernandez is live in Washington with more.
Good morning. President Trump's fair and reciprocal plan seeks to match tariffs on domestic goods to the same rates that other nations charge on imports, a move that could have far-reaching impacts on American consumers, as well as America's rivals and allies.
We're just going to do it the easy way, and we're just going to say whatever you charge, we charge, and I think that's fair for the people of the United States.
The Trump administration billed this new policy as a way for the United States to correct long-standing imbalances with trade partners, who sometimes apply higher tariffs to American goods than the U.S. does to theirs. In a Truth Social post, he added, "If a country feels that the United States would be getting too high a tariff, all they have to do is reduce or terminate their tariff against us." President Trump ordered studies on how the U.S. could balance trade with over 200 countries and territories. The White House expects these to be completed by April 1st, potentially allowing trade partners to adjust their rates.
by definition, if you're doing a reciprocal tariff, you're kind of giving the first mover advantage to the other country, right? So if XYZ country says, well, we're going to slap a 15% tariff on the United States, and you just say, oh, we're going to do the same, aren't you kind of giving them the lead?
The Trump administration contends that American consumers and businesses will likely bear the brunt of these new tariffs, either directly or through increased prices. But it'll be beneficial in the long run.
There might be some modest effects, but more importantly, jobs are going to go up and wages are going up.
We're moving much more towards very localized markets where our needs are going to be met in many local ways. And I think this tariff negotiation is just one part of that.
So far, only a 10% tariff on China has gone into effect. The tariffs against Canada and Mexico are on hold until March, and a broader reciprocal plan could go into effect in April. Reporting from the White House, I'm Rafael Hernandez.
Trump administration officials say they will present a plan to combat avian flu to the president. Director of the National Economic Council Kevin Hassett and Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins are expected to lay out the proposal. Hassett says the plan addresses biosecurity concerns involving medication that would avoid killing chickens. The United States' approach to bird flu has long been focused on eradication. However, that strategy may change since the virus spreads to other animals.
A judge's order blocking Doge's access to federal student loan data ends today.
Caplin News' reporter Natalie Dominguez is live in Washington, D.C. with what's next.
The judge could make a decision today to grant or deny Doge access to those records. This all comes after more than a dozen states and the University of California Student Association sued Doge and the Department of Education over privacy concerns. This is in addition to lawsuits aiming to prevent Doge's access to federal financial information at the Treasury Department.
This is the largest data breach in American history. That's what this is. Okay, our job as state attorneys general is to protect and safeguard our states, the citizens in our states, from data breaches, to protect their confidential personal information, to protect our states and residents from cyber attacks and cyber crime.
Attorneys General have sued Doge for accessing sensitive financial data at the Treasury Department, including Connecticut and New York.
This is a violation of the separation of powers. The United States Congress, the United States Senate, has the sole discretion in having the power of the purse, and not Elon Musk.
UCSA also filed suit to permanently block Doge from accessing student loan data, citing violations of the Privacy Act of 1974. These legal challenges could set crucial precedent for federal oversight of student loans and data privacy protections.
The worst part is that I'm not even done after this. After I get my bachelor's degree, I still have another 3 years of PT school, where potentially if I don't get a scholarship, I would have to take a loan out. And for this to happen again, or for some scenario to happen like this again, it doesn't make me want to take a loan out, which in turn just makes it more difficult than it already is for me to go to school. So it's just disheartening. It's not viable. It's not good.
Though Musk's team had restricted access to Education Department records through the end of last week, the agency announced on Tuesday that it terminated over $900 million worth of contracts and grants. As of now, Doge's access to financial information remains uncertain. Reporting live from Washington, D.C., Caplin News, Natalie Dominguez.
Dade County responds to President Donald Trump's immigration policies, and Anthony Cruz is at a protest in Southwest Miami-Dade to hear what the community had to say.
Despite a month of executive actions by President Donald Trump targeting immigration, many people in Southwest Miami-Dade are gathered here saying, quote, the fight is not over.
Even though President Trump spent months on the campaign trail saying he would focus on deporting criminals, he has faced backlash in South Florida for revoking deportation protections like temporary protected status for Venezuelans and Biden-era humanitarian parole. Protesters said that it was important for a community full of immigrants to fight back.
Because we know at this point immigrants are under attack. So what do? Stand up, fight back. That's what we're here for. To make our voices heard and to remind this immigrant majority county of Miami-Dade that immigrant rights matter.
And for the immigrants like Marianne Rell that were marching this was another way of speaking out against a system that many think is broken.
Immigrants come here, they try to get ahead and try to make we work a lot, and then there's always it takes 20 years, 15 years to get any kind of residency status, and then it's kind of like a trap, because if whenever they want, they can just deport you.
This is not the first nor the last protest regarding immigration that will occur in Miami-Dade County as many immigrants start to feel the effects of President Donald Trump's policy. Reporting for Caplin News from Southwest Miami-Dade, I'm Anthony Cruz.
Many immigrants fear even going to grocery stores, but residents are stepping up and lending a helping hand. Here's Caplin News reporter Laura Iglesias with more on the story.
Imagine being too scared to even step into a grocery store. For many immigrants, this fear has become a reality due to the new policies under the Trump administration. One woman in Central Florida is stepping up to make a difference.
This may look like a typical grocery store run, but for Aidalina Plaza, trips to the store have become frequent recently.
These are some of the things that the people who need my help are asking for.
Twice a week, she shops for immigrant families, who she says may be too afraid to go out and purchase their own groceries. Aidalina first posted on social media 3 weeks ago, offering to help families who are concerned about immigration policy changes. Her outrage to the community has continued since then.
A lot of people have fear of going out. Many of the stores are empty, many families being left without food because they're afraid with everything that's happening involving immigration.
Since then, she's helped over a dozen families this week. She has 3 more deliveries to make. Aidalina says she hopes what she's doing inspires others.
I think that there should be more of us Latinos doing this because we need to support and lean on each other.
The family she is purchasing the items for will pay the grocery bill, but Aidalina picks up everything for free. She says it's a scary time for immigrant families, but she wants to be a helping hand even if it's just with a few groceries.
We shouldn't be fearful. Just have a lot of precaution and don't do things you're not supposed to be doing. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
She's hoping to create a community where people can count on each other to help.
Plaza says she plans to keep shopping for people and invites more to reach out to her. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Laura Iglesias.
FIU welcomes a new interim president on her first day.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
He's such a role model for that, so I hope students are inspired by that.
A special guest receives a new honor. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
A big-name journalist getting a high honor from an institute of higher education. World-renowned journalist Martin Barron was honored with the Carter Medallion right here in our Biscayne Bay campus.
And as Caplin's Valentina Gaspari reports, Martin Barron is the second person to receive this prestigious honor.
Martin Barron, known for his role as the former editor of the Washington Post and the Boston Globe, was honored at FIU's Biscayne Bay campus with a medal. There, he spoke to students and guests about the future of journalism and how to better prepare for what's ahead. Students and guests witnessing firsthand the Carter Medallion ceremony on Friday for Martin Barron, a Florida local whose impact in journalism excelled nationwide. Barron is no stranger to Florida, and he explains what this moment meant for him.
I see it as an opportunity for me to talk about the values that I hold and that I think should be part of our profession, and talking about the kinds of challenges that we're facing today.
Martin Barron has been editor for the Miami Herald, the Los Angeles Times, and the New York Times. But his coverage on the Boston Catholic sexual abuse scandal as executive editor of the Boston Globe, along with his work at the Washington Post, are his noted roles. Hosted by Dean Brian Schreiner, the medallion honors professionals whose excellence in the field will hold a lasting impact for years to come. Before taking the stage, students had the chance to meet Barron and ask all their questions one-on-one. Reestablishing trust in the news, showing transparency when reporting, and covering the communities to us entirely were some of the issues in the discussion.
What is the point of connection with the public, and how well are we performing there? And we're not performing as well as we ought to. We're not performing well at all, in my view. And so we have a lot to learn.
Carter Advisory Board member Ramon Escobar joined Barron on stage to moderate the ceremony on journalism, media, and the current political landscape. Escobar calls Barron a value-driven journalist in our industry.
He's such a role model for that, so I hope students are inspired by that and want to pursue a career like his and do great things and help shine a light in areas that are dark.
Yazid Galida felt pushed and motivated to focus on a career in journalism, thanks to Martin Barron's words of inspiration.
Hearing from him, who's a seasoned veteran in the field, it kind of it helped push me in that direction. You know, it kind of inspired me. Like, you know, he's seen it all, and he's still, you know, even though the world is changing so much, he's still saying that you should keep going and keep going into this field.
Barron is now the second person ever to receive this honor from the FIU College of Communication, Architecture, and the Arts. His goal is to help young journalists strive for a profession as impactful as his. During a Q&A session with students, Martin Barron emphasized the point of becoming effective communicators, saying in a quote, "Journalism has turned to less listening, more talking, when it should be less talking, more listening." In North Miami, I'm Valentina Gaspari, Caplin News.
Today marks the first day for Jeanette Nunez as Florida International University's interim president. Her face now appears on a sign at FIU South Campus that welcomes her. You can find it at the main entrance to campus. Nunez replaces Dr. Kenneth Jessel, who served as president for 3 years and will be staying with the university in a new role.
That's all time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Jason Harrow.
I'm Nicolette Esper. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.